Good evening, y'all. This is Brandon with Archie Cinema doing my next video review. Today I'm reviewing a documentary I recently watched called Video Heaven. I'm a little bit behind the review. I actually watched this on August the 28th. This documentary was written and directed by Alex Ross Perry and narrated by Maya Hawke. So this documentary details the rise and fall of the video store, the origins of it, how it became a part of the culture, and ultimately its demise. So we'll get into that and a lot more, and you can see whether this might be a documentary you would be interested in seeing right after this. All right, Video Heaven, written and directed by Alex Ross Perry, and Maya Hawke does a fantastic job with the narration. This documentary is truly a labor of love, talking about the rise and fall of the video store. It's 3 hours long, and it'll just fly right by. Even I'll be very honest, when I saw the trailer, I was like, yeah, this might not be for me. But they break it down into different chapters as far as the rise and fall, the history of it, how it expanded, et cetera, and then, of course, the ending, unfortunately. So they go into the chapter of the history of it, the first, with the first video store being established in California in 1977, going to places like New York, and then expanded across the country. How it started with, your local mom and pop stores, your local stores, and then going into, your Blockbusters, your Hollywood videos, your movie galleries, et cetera. How initially the studios weren't really good with video stores. They thought it would cut into their profits, but they ended up working things out to where, hey, as long as these video stores were buying or renting the product legally, they were good to go. And they actually worked hand in hand. It actually helped. And it helped with the anticipation of these movies. Because like nowadays, as you see, like before a movie comes out, they're already talking about the Blu-ray is dropping. So it's like, man, if it's coming out that fast, and why should I go to the theater and see it? Like back then, when a movie hit a theater, you had about maybe 6 months, a year or so before it hit the shelves. And like I said, it was for collectors, especially. I've been a collector for a long time. It's always a thing to where you went to the movie store to, hey, is this movie any good? You watched it. And then, you would buy it. And same thing with video games, too. Back then, they used to let you, at the video stores, they used to let you rent a lot of the systems and the games and see if you wanted to buy. So it actually worked hand in hand. And they talk about how, a chapter of how the video store became a culture. Even if you weren't going to rent anything, it became the hangout place. You went to see what was new, see what was going on. Not necessarily all the employees there knew about movies. Some of them just worked there, but a lot of them had good knowledge on things like, hey, this is not good, or hey, this person's last movie was better, or hey, this is this person's best movie. You would get insight to that, so it became a culture instead of just something to do. So that was a big part of it. Also, how they even go into a chapter of how the X-rated films went to the video stores to kind of expand. It became a thing, 'cause initially, the X-rated films were only played in theaters, but they worked together with some of the video stores, more of the local ones. I don't think the commercial ones really went that route, or not most of them anyway. So that they always had a designated area in the back with that black curtain. You open up the door and there it is. So it became profitable in so many different ways, and it ran the industry at one point. It was essential for the industry. Another amazing aspect of this documentary was how it was made. What I mean by that is they used so many archival commercials, archival newspaper articles. And the most impressive thing to me is they used so many television clips, movie clips to tell the story. I mean, it is amazing. I know the editing process was a beast. You have to give them credit for that alone. I mean, they go from everything from Seinfeld to Videodrome to Clerks to The Ring, I believe Married with Children, et cetera, and they use that to tell the story. It's amazing. So, that's a part of it too. Now, as far as the fall, the rise and fall, chapters they talk about the fall of it was how, I guess, bad things became a caricature of itself, but it was actually true. And that became a part of it was the overzealous employee and the overzealous fan. Like anything with shopping, especially when you go to a video store, you want to be kind of relaxed. Like I said, a lot of these video stores were huge. They had big sections, not just, horror flick and new releases and action. They had big foreign sections and things like that. And it was always good to talk to somebody that can teach you something like, hey, I think 8.5 was Federico Fellini's best movie, but hey, check out E Vitelloni, or check out La Strada, or Knights of Cabiria, et cetera, et cetera. And, it gives you a chance to grow and learn about things. But it was always that one person that you're looking at the back of a movie. He dies at the end of that movie, right? Like, man, my man, what are we doing? Like, you just ruined everything. You know what I mean? It was like they used like movie clips and television clips to explain it, but that would really happen. It's so annoying. Like, man, like, just doing too much. And you might be out because, like I said, the video store used to be a hangout place. So you used to go in there to kind of hang out or look for something. You with your friends, y'all just trying to find something to watch on a Friday night, and you might pick up something like, I didn't like it. I saw this movie last month. I didn't like it. And it's always, employee or customer. You didn't like it? What's wrong with you? Like, you have your head bashed open. Like, oh, slow down, man. You're doing too much. Kind of playing a little bit too close. Like, hey, man. Like, first of all, hey, man, if there's something I'm missing, hey, man, teach me something. Hey, I might need to watch it again, or look for this or look for that. But it would just be the overzealous people that would kind of mess up the process. And I give you some examples of what I'm talking about. This is my own personal 2 cents. For example, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Now, I saw this movie, I think I was first in college, probably over 20 years ago. But this great movie. And I got this movie from the word go. I understood it. It is spaced out, but I understood what was going on. But basically, the plot is a journalist with his lawyer who goes to Las Vegas to film a motorcycle race. And in between that time, they use a lot of illicit substances. So I understood that. So with the spaced out and psychedelic stuff going on, I understood that. But some people saw this and like, man, I don't like this movie, or I don't get it. So, used to give some people some grace. Hey, man, maybe check it out again, or, I understood you might not like it or whatever. I mean, everybody has their own opinion and what they like and don't like, different strokes to different folks. But also this is the biggest example I can give of this. You know what I'm saying? Mr. David Lynch, the late great Mr. David Lynch. Now, I'm a fan of David Lynch, but he can be polarizing when it comes to the film community. So like the first time I saw Eraserhead, I was like, what was the plot? I didn't get it. And a lot of David Lynch fans will jump down your throat if you don't get it from the word go. It's like they don't even give you a chance to learn, or whatever the case may be, or just give it, say, hey, man, I like the movie, but if you don't like it, hey, that's your right. You can do what you like. You like what you like, basically. A couple of examples I'll give of more of the David Lynch catalog. Now, The Elephant Man. The first time I saw The Elephant Man, I loved it. The Elephant Man is actually one of my favorite movies of all time. Love The Elephant Man. I understood it from day one. I was able to grasp this from day one. So that was one of the ones, David Lynch movies, I was easy to understand. That was easy for me to understand from the jump. Okay. Lost Highway. I just saw Lost Highway a couple years ago for the first time. I love Lost Highway. I understood Lost Highway from the beginning too. So, that's another one of that. Now, be honest with you, the first time I saw Blue Velvet, I was like, it's okay. I didn't get the hype around it. One of my friends had a flip to me. She was like, I'm not going to argue about this. Like, man, I just said I didn't personally get the hype around it. But, when you start talking to people that'll give you a little more grace, say, hey, man, why don't you give it a second watch? That's why I love the YouTube community, because a lot of people that make these videos that, will give you some grace. Like, hey, it's not for everybody, but hey, watch it again. And they give you certain points to look for. Oh, this is what this is about, et cetera, et cetera. And to me, the biggest example of that is, going further than that, is Mulholland Drive. Now, Mulholland Drive, I didn't get it at all when I first watched it. I'm like, what did I just watch? I had no clue. There's so much going on. But like I said, talking to people who, or they actually have, they'll actually give you some grace. And like I said, watching a lot of videos on YouTube and things of that nature with people breaking down like, hey, this is an illusion and this is real, et cetera, et cetera. So, okay. So, it gives you some grace. It expands your mind to liking some of these movies. But like I said, even if you don't like it, hey, you like what you like. So unfortunately, the overzealous employee and the overzealous fan ruined the movie process for people. So it was kind of, if they showed clips of this in movies and television that was supposed to be a joke, but it was like actually true. So they kind of ruined the experience for a lot of people. Another part of the fall they talked about, and this goes, there's so many more, there's so much more, but I'm just kind of breaking down a few points of this, was the technology and the convenience for the customer. Because that was before they transitioned to DVD, the VHS, it was a big deal. They would charge you for those late fees, and they weren't playing about those. If you were late with the returning the VHSs, they would charge you for it. And if you didn't rewind them, they would charge you for it. I remember my dad had a rewinder. You know, usually you just put the VCR in the VCR player and rewind it. My dad had like an automatic rewinder. So you push it down, it rewinds, you take it back. Because if it was not rewind, they would charge you for it. And that was a big deal. Like, man, I just forgot to rewind it. And I remember a lot of stores, like in some stores, you know, improved on this. It was like, you might be out of town or doing something. You might not have time to actually drop it inside the store when things close. You know what I mean? And some places had drop boxes. Hey, let me go early, drop this off. And then as long as they got it, that's good. But if you didn't have it inside the store, they would still charge you a late fee. So that was a part of it. That was like the fall, the inconvenience of that. And then, just transitioning from VHS to DVD. That was, I guess it was still the late fee thing, but at least not having to rewind it was the aspect of it. And then, of course, as we see, the digital spaces took over. So that was the end of that. But, that's not their fault. Technology changes, but they talked about how some of the customer service kind of hurt them also. All right. So that's my short review on Video Heaven. Amazing documentary. I was blown away. Hopefully, whenever it comes out on physical media, I'm definitely picking it up. It's that good. It's definitely, to me, like I said, if you're a movie fan, you definitely should check it out. It actually hit theaters on June 10th. It's in limited release, so I say check your local listings for art house cinemas, independent cinemas in your area that might be playing it, but it's not playing a whole lot. But if you got a chance to see it, definitely check it out. It's amazing. Like I said, definitely a labor of love. So this is my short review on that. If you all have any questions or any comments, definitely comment if you've seen it or have any questions about the documentary. Definitely leave it down at the bottom for me. All right, you guys take care. Have a good day. Be safe out there. Adios.